Gentlemen, gather round. Something brand new is going down. He who has ears, let him hear, and God bless the child. Child is parables now. Ladies and gentlemen, gather round. Something brand new is going down. He who has ears, let him hear, and God bless the child. Child is parables now. Are you listening? You listening? Listen up. 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 Are you listening?
We here with the birthday girl, y'all.
Yes.
We are live in Los Cabos, Mexico.
Hola.
Celebrating this beautiful soul's birthday.
Yes.
And so I hear that you're here to tell a story.
Yes.
What's that story?
The story of a gentle giant of my father, the deacon, the uncle, the husband, the grandfather, the brother, Roosevelt Latson. I'm here to tell his story.
Tell me about it.
He was what I like to call a Pop-Tart, right? That's the name. Because he was, had a hard exterior, but he was soft on the inside. Mm-hmm. And like I said, he was a gentle giant. He just had a great personality, just a great presence, and just all around, just cool dude,
mm-hmm.
cool man.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
So tell me more about his life. Like, what are some of the things that you remember about him? Mm-hmm. I have a great question. What is one of your first memories of him?
When I was probably before 5, I would sleep in a bed with him and my mom. Like, I think they say like 5 is the first type when you start having memories, kindergarten. So I was sleeping in a bed with him and my mom, and I feel like he was home during the week, maybe like a Monday. He was home on a Monday, and he would like extend his foot up, and like my butt would be sitting on his foot, and then he would be holding my hands, and that would be like me, like at a amusement park, like him pushing me up with his extending me, up in the air with his feet or whatever. So those are some of the first memories that I had of him that I can remember. Maybe a little bit older, maybe like 8. I remember him cleaning his truck. We lived on a street where we lived across the street from a Board of Education for the city of Jersey City. So it was one Board of Education for all of the schools in Jersey City. So it was huge. So the parking lot was across the street from our school, and he was his own operator at the time. So he would bring his truck home and wash it. That was his pride and joy. He would wash it, and and I would play all in it while he was doing that or whatever. He never, would be like, oh, stop touching it or nothing like that. It was just fun. It was work for him. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure, like I said, it was his pride and joy. So he was taking care of it. So I remember like playing around there. It was like a little play area for me. And then he would like take me around the corner in it, because we didn't live too far from a Dairy Queen. So he would take me in a ride for it to go to get some ice cream. I remember the truck used to be bouncing or whatever. So those are some of the memories that I have of him as a kid. Yeah. Probably before 10.
Right, before 10.
Yeah.
That's good. So let's break his life up in segments from your observation, right? Mm-hmm. So talk to me about him as a man, as a father, and then as a husband. So talk about him as a man, right? Because you have a chance now to observe men.
Yeah.
right.
Exactly.
Right.
He taught me a lot about a man.
Right.
He taught me a lot about a man, a hard-working man. Like my dad was a hard-working man. Like I've never, all the 39 years of my life, ever known him not working ever. You know what I mean? Maybe like older, more recently, where he may have had, I remember he had bunion surgery, so he was out of work for maybe 6 months. And even maybe like in 1999 or 2000, he was, like I said, he was his own operator. So I remember one time he got into a car accident. I was a kid, so I vaguely remember the logistics of everything that happened. But I know he got into a truck accident, and unfortunately, he lost his job behind it. So I know that was like a short period of time. He started driving for an uncle of mine. I think he started driving one of his trucks and just picking up little jobs. Still driving trucks though, but like maybe helping out a friend or other coworkers who were own operators. And then he got his last job that I knew him was R&L trucking. But as a man, he was like a hard worker, just a strong person. To me, he was a protector. Like I always felt safe with him in the house. That was one thing. Like his presence in a home just made you feel safe. And just a hero to me. You know what I mean? He was the one to, like I said, warm up the cars. You know what I mean? Before you get in it, as my mom and my sisters. He just had a great sense of direction. So that could be figuratively, you know what I mean? Just a leader, you know what I mean? So a provider. Like, so those are some of the things that as a female I've observed from him as a man.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, as a father, like, did you have to see the disciplinarian side of him? Like, as a father, like, what are some characteristics that you can say as a dad? Like,
he wasn't really too much of a disciplinarian, because my mom kind of held it down, but so I didn't really see that aspect of it. But my mom did, like, he always kind of like had the final say. Like we have to go to him to make sure her okay was okay. You know what I mean? And he almost always said yeah. You know what I mean? So
right.
he almost always said yeah. So yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah. How about your observations of him as a husband? What are some of the things you reflect on?
I felt like he was an okay husband. Like, there are some things that he could have been better at. You know what I mean? Maybe more affection, showing more affection. But he was a sweetheart because he loved, like he would always bring my mom gifts for Valentine's Day. He would always bring her stuff for her birthday, for Mother's Day. Like, so though he did, celebrate her in that aspect, so there were some things about a husband I'm like, I wish maybe I could have seen more sides of. So.
Gotcha. So we obviously we're talking about your dad in past tense.
Right.
So how has it been for you since your dad passed?
It's been weird, because it was very, sudden. I think for me, the hardest part is that I never really saw him ill, all my life. Like I said, I saw him pretty healthy, you know what I mean? And he represented strength to me. So, when he did have aches and pains, it really like made me sad. Like he suffered from gout. That was like one of the main things that really, really took him, like hurt him a lot. So when I would see him suffering from that, it just, I couldn't really handle it. So, it's just, I think that part is the part that really I struggle with, because I'm like, just to be working 2 weeks ago, coming home from work, and then suffering from gout because he had a really bad bout with it right before he got COVID, and then passing away. So it's just been really like trying as far as like, just wonder, like for people or anybody who have to deal with somebody who's sick, I always wonder like what it would have been like if maybe like he was a sickly ill person and then I saw his health declining. I can't say like, I'm like, maybe I would have had time to like brace myself for it. Mm-hmm. But for it to be so sudden, that's the part that really, really is hard for me.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Because even our neighbor, where we used to live, she knocked on the door. She was like, the neighbors told me, your dad passed away. And I'm like, yeah. She was like, I just saw him come home from work. I'm like, I know. So that's been really tough.
Gotcha.
So.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So I want to, I like safe words, right? Mm-hmm. And so safe word is kind of like when you put your boundary, like a word when you say, hey, this is my boundary, stop here, right? Mm-hmm. So I say I was a safe word with you, let's say Cabo, right? That's just okay. So if I ask something and you like, look at me, like, Cabo. Like Cabo, right? Because I want to ask a question, and I don't know if it's a tough question or not. I do feel led to say it, but no, you got your safe word, and I'll move on, right? Is there any significance about the day your dad passed?
Yes. So, it's a couple of significant days leading up to his passing, right? Mm-hmm. So, Good Friday is fun. Good Friday, they had asked me to speak on the last 7 sayings at my church on the phone. So, Good Friday was when they called us. The family was like, "We really want your dad to get on the ventilator." Mm-hmm. And we were like, no, we weren't. What did he at that point, he was competent. So we were like, he was saying no. So we decided no, right? Mm-hmm. So then Saturday, I think that was like, we had talked to him over the phone or Zoom with him. I can't remember. I think we Zoom with him either maybe that Good Friday or Saturday. Mm-hmm. Easter Sunday, then they called us and said that my dad he agreed to be put on a ventilator. So they called me and I called him on the cell phone, mm-hmm. or something like that, because I wanted to make sure that he agreed and they weren't just telling us that. And he said yes. He said to me, yeah, obviously he was very winded, his voice was very low and weak, but I did hear him say yes, because he answered his phone. Mm-hmm. So he said yes. Mm-hmm. He was on a ventilator from Easter until, because I think Easter was maybe like the 4th of last year in 2021. And then that Saturday, April 10th, which is my birthday, mm-hmm. he transitioned. Mm-hmm. So yes, that's the significance of the day. Yeah.
How has it been processing that? Have you processed? Like, it's 2 separate questions.
So initially, I was like, oh my gosh, like it was okay. So when I got the call, because I was in Puerto Rico, I had went on vacation. I had planned on going on vacation already, April 7th of 2021. Like I said, my father had went on the ventilator that Sunday, which probably I think was the 4th. And so I already had this vacation planned. Mm-hmm. But thank goodness, we have a close-knit, sisterhood. One of my sisters agreed that she would come and stay with my mom, because my mom and dad, we were the only 3 in the house. So I didn't want to leave her mm-hmm. myself while he was in the hospital. Mm-hmm. My sister agreed to come up and stay with my mom and just kind of hold down the fort with everything while I was on vacation. I struggled with not going. Mm-hmm. But in my eyes, I just didn't think that he would pass away. I felt like, okay, this will probably be my time to, relax until he comes home. Mm-hmm. And then I'll be able to be at his beck and call, right? Like do whatever he need me to do. Because my father was very low maintenance. Mm. And I knew when he came out, I was like, he's going to need me, which was fine, not a problem. So I was like, okay, I'm going to be ready, you know what I mean? Until he beats this, So was out there in Puerto Rico, just being in touch with my sisters and my mom, zooming with him, while he was intubated. And then Saturday in the afternoon, we zoomed with him. And then that evening, Saturday, April 10th of 2021, my friends and I, we were sitting at the table and they just finished singing happy birthday to me. It was 11 something. I will never forget it. And the hospital called. Now, I didn't think it was the worst case scenario, because they have been calling me, I was a point of contact along with my other sisters or whatever. Mm-hmm. But while I was away that week, they kind of had, took the lead on that. So I didn't think it was anything, but the late night kind of did scare me. I was like, oh boy. And I said hello, and he told me who it was, and I couldn't listen. Like, I gave the phone to my friend, and I was like, no, I have to face this. I grabbed the phone back from her, and I went in a room, and I went in a corner, and it was like around 8 something, Mr. Latson, and everything else was a blur. Like, I really didn't hear what they said. I didn't really hear what they said, but So I just basically asked him, did he expire? And he said yes. And so, but so initially I was just like, oh boy, this is like every year I'm going to have to share this. It's going to be bittersweet, right? It's going to be the day that my father transitioned plus my birthday. Like, how am I going to be able to celebrate him losing his life on my birthday? So my sisters were like, no, we're not gonna do that. We're not gonna celebrate his, we're not celebrating death. We celebrate in life, your life and his life. And I think over the course of the year, just with like, prayer and just talking to God and meditating, I just was like, it's not that bad, because it's like, okay, I think about it. I always try to look at the positive, right? Mm-hmm. So my dad got saved in 82, which was the year I was born, right? That's from what I'm hearing, from my mom and everybody. Wow. And then I'm like, okay, so he gave his life to God the year I was born. Don't know exactly when. And then he goes home to glory on my birthday. It's like, wow. It's like we have that, we're going to always have those special bonds, that I can celebrate with him. So it's not that bad. It's not a bad thing this year, I guess. Right. Yeah, once you think about it from that aspect.
Right. Beautiful. So maybe a couple more questions. Do you feel like there's anything you left unsaid to your dad?
No, because I felt that's the one thing I wish we had did more, like as a family, just tell each other we love each other. But our actions and the way we are there for each other shows that we love each other. So, like, there is no doubt in my mind that my father loved me and we loved him, and he know that we loved him. And there's no doubt in my mind that my mom loves us and we love her. So, and I got the chance to tell him that before when I called him to make sure he wanted to go on an event. I said, I love you. And I believe that he heard me. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, those were the last words that I said to him that he could physically hear. So, so no, I don't, my father, he was, like I said, he was low maintenance. And so I don't have any regrets at all. Anything he barely wanted to do something. He wasn't like my mom. My mom wants you to come bring her the remote, what she said right there. Mm-hmm. He really would try not to bother you. But it was, it was a pleasure for me to do something because he was very independent. Yeah. And, so no, I don't, there's nothing that I wish I would have said. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
So I want to take this time to acknowledge you. I try to do acknowledgements at the end of every episode. Mm-hmm. So I want to acknowledge you. For some reason, I feel a connection with you, and I tell your sister this too. Like, so we're both 40. Yeah. Right? And we're both the youngest. Like, my parents adopted 5 kids at one time. Mm-hmm. But biologically, I'm the youngest. Okay. And so I always, I'm always thinking about your perspective because I understand, being the youngest perspective. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to put anything on you. No, I don't want to put my burdens on you. No, but I know, sometimes it can get challenging to watch our older siblings do things, and we trying to pave our own way. Yeah. Right. And so we have, I don't know about you, but sometimes it's like, I'm thinking about it, like my sister would do it like this. Should I do it like that? Or, I've got the weight of other people talking about my sister. And I'm like, I'm trying to do my, take my own way or whatever like that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But I want to acknowledge you for your accomplishments, for your home ownership.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, you know, for graduating from college.
Thank you.
Just for your business. Like, I want to acknowledge you for, I want to say fearlessness, but it's another word. Like, you are you go after it. Like, if you want to do something, you go after it. Like, and it's calculated, but it's like, I'm going to have fun. Like, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to go have fun or whatever. So I acknowledge you for standing on your own too. I love the similarities, the significance of your dad giving his life to Christ, and then God calling him home to glory, and like it parallels you. And I think the position that you stand in your family, it takes a certain type of strength that God has put on you that other people may not identify. But I identify it. Like, being the youngest of my family is a certain type of strength, and it's hard to put it into words. But I acknowledge you for the strength that you carry, the strength that you have, and I'm also acknowledging you being there for your parents. You know, you being there during a day to day, and understanding that his passing may have hit you a little bit differently because you were so close. With, you know, everyday the sense and just emotions and the movements of the house and just certain things that you would hear that you no longer hear. So I just want to just acknowledge you for who you are, standing on your own too, being your own woman in spite of anything that anybody else says. Like, you doing the things the way that you feel like you want to do it, you should do it. So I just want to acknowledge you for that. And I want to give you the last words. So you have anything you want to say, anything you want us to know about your dad, anything you feel like you want to just leave here, you know, at this table, the floor is yours.
What was I going to say? It was just like seeing. I'm sorry.
No, we can edit it out.
Okay.
Yeah, take your time. Yeah, and I'll tell my guy to edit it out, and I'll edit it out. Yeah, take your time. Yeah. Sure. Any pressure? Oh, you good? You want?
What I was gonna say was, no, he definitely. My father. What I loved about him was that he definitely encouraged me. Like, anything I wrote past him, he was very supportive, and like, he was here for me buying a house. Like, yeah, you could do it. You're young, you know. You got a stable job. Like, so he always encouraged anything that I wanted to do, whether it's buying a car. Like, I'm gonna go buy this car. Yeah, you better check it out. So he was very supportive, and I feel like I got my sense of like living my life, you know, because he was very like about just trying, or very explorative, or he was very aware of his surroundings, which I need to be get more like him, because he was very like just very not nosy, but I guess it was nosy, but he always knew what was going around. He could come down the street of a block and be like, oh, that person sitting over there in a car or something. He was very observant. So that's what I need to be. Wish I could be more like him, because I'm just very airheaded. I'll be walking down the street like, I just live literally. I live in my own world, like, But I just one thing about him, or that I could say, I just feel like he was just an amazing man. He was, Kevin said, God created that man. You know what I mean? He wasn't perfect by no means, but just all the lives that he affected. And he was definitely the exemplified Christ, because he did not judge people. That's one. You can be a bum on the street, an alcoholic, a prostitute. He was smile on his face when he saw you. So that's what I really, really like, what I saw in him as a Christian. Like I said, he's not perfect, but just the way he just was like happy with everybody, no matter a bum on the street or whatever. That's what I really, really was like, yo, that dude was just like, he was like no other. He was not a hypocritical Christian at all. Because he'd be like, oh, you know, if he was a drunk, gambler, whatever, like he didn't care. He loved people. And that's what I loved about him. So Yeah.
He loved people. That's a good way to end it right there, right? Absolutely. Thank you. I appreciate you coming by. Thank you for your story.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh, another thing I was going to tell somebody. I'm sorry. This is what I forgot.
Yeah.
That I'm sure there are more people who suffer loss that have been more traumatic than mine. But I wanted to tell people that you can get through it. Like, I've never imagined something like this that I've experienced, like lose the loss of a parent, but you can get through it. Like, if you just take it one day at a time, feel whatever take the moment to feel whatever you're going to feel. Like, don't try to not feel it. Feel it, let it's going to come in waves, let it just happen, and then it's going to go away. So take every moment at a time. Do not try to rush whatever it is, the process of healing. Just let it, because I feel like although it's only been a year, I've come a long way, and I know that I'm sure I have more way to go. But when you feel that heaviness of grief initially, you feel like, oh my God, like, how am I gonna get through this, or how am I gonna get past this? But you do. So just anybody that's suffering a loss, grief, trust and believe with prayer and God, journaling, just taking a moment out to just sit in that moment, whatever it is, it's gonna pass.
That's great. That's great. That's good for the people. Again, thank you so much.